This video today is just going to be me giving this well overgrown fish tank a quick trim. I'm loving the green vibe. It looks really nice, I think personally, but it definitely is in need of a trim. Some plants are suffering at the lower side of the fish tank. The top is obviously doing really well, getting all that light, but the bottom plants aren't doing too great. The snails they're doing fine, of course, but the bottom plants are not doing great. So me personally, I'm going to save some of these plants for another video. So I'm just got a bucket of water to throw them in. And I'm just going to be taking up the top layer first. So just exposing some of the plants because I literally couldn't get to them without taking off a lot of the top layer. A lot of them floating plants, they had to just go straight away, unfortunately, because I did really love the look of the top of the tank. So getting all this done did take quite a long time. I've sped up the video, so it's at ×2 instead of ×1 normally, of course. So apologies in advance for the camera shaking and moving a little bit every so often. That is the house cat, who is a big fan of the fish tank. Or maybe should I say the fish. I'm not too sure if she wants to eat the fish or she just likes looking at them. Either way, she gets in the way a few times. You might even see her later on in the video. She's made an appearance on a few of my other videos, so if you want to go ahead on my channel and check that out. Her almost dipping her face in the fish tank, pretty amusing to watch. As you can see, the fish, they don't mind my hand going in or the scissors or anything, which is a good thing. They're not too stressed out by it. They normally think it's feeding time as soon as anything goes into the top of the tank, whether it be my hand or the scissors or the whatever it is, which is great for them because they're never stressed out by much work doing. The only issue is that I have to be very careful that I don't accidentally cut a fish while I'm trimming these plants. And just to let you guys know, I have skipped ahead in a few bits throughout this video just because there wasn't really much going on at certain times, especially when I was taking a lot off the top. I was being very careful, of course. I didn't want to rush it, even if it's just for the video. I thought it was a lot more safer, a lot more friendly for the fish, and a lot less messy for me, just to go ahead and skip some parts of the video for you instead of trying to rush and splashing water everywhere and scaring my fish, to get it done in a reasonable time video wise. By the way guys, if anyone wonders what light I've got going on, just check out my YouTube channel. Also check out the description of this video. I should leave a link to it down below. It's a pretty good light. It actually came free with the fish tank, but it's definitely one of the best lights I've ever had so far. So in this part of the video, I just start pulling up a lot of the plants, not on purpose. I'm mainly trying to get rid of that algae in there. As you can see, right in the middle of the fish tank, there's a big ball of algae. It's actually wrapped around a Marimo moss ball, which is really annoying because I want the Marimo moss ball in there. I also want the plants next to the algae, but as I just pull it, a lot of dirt comes out. The issue that I have with algae is mainly I try to keep a sustainable ecosystem fish tank. So the water is barely ever changed. I do check the water parameters as regularly as I need to, and they're normally pretty good. Every so often I will still do a water change, even if they're doing all right, just because I think that's the best way forward. And after a while, there's only so much nutrients plants can really absorb. There's quite a few fish in there, surprisingly. They are small compared to the size of the fish tank, but I do still like to keep on top of it, especially if there is a all of a sudden outbreak of ammonia or something. Just to let you know, that was the house cat that you just saw. And this is what I was talking about mainly. That's the dirt and grime that's built up underneath all these plants and the moss. Like I said, there's actually a Marimo moss ball there, which I think is actually a type of algae. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But actual algae that we don't want is wrapped around it. It's also wrapped around a few roots there. I won't actually be getting rid of all of it today, mainly because I don't want to affect the water parameters too much. If you remove too much from a fish tank in any one given time, or add too many things, you can change the water parameters so much it can become a bit unmanageable, especially for someone like me who is purely a hobbyist. I don't have time to check them 24 hours a day. I can check it in the morning, I can check it at night, but even if I check it in the morning, if I've got to go to work, there's not really much I can do. So I do have to be very careful, and that's one of the reasons I don't change the water so much, because I don't want any of the water parameters to spike suddenly. At least with a stable aquarium, I can be a bit more confident that everything will stay at a level which I know won't be dangerous to the fish. But you can see actually how much algae I'm taking away here, and I won't even be taking it all away today. I'm actually going to leave some. You might think that's a bit strange, but algae is actually a huge beneficial plant to your aquarium. I mean, it's not actually a plant. I don't know if it is or isn't a plant, but it is very beneficial to your aquarium. It works. It's one of the best living things in your fish tank to remove harmful substances. And just to let you know, there's this CO2 diffuser which I picked up a little while ago. That's the CO2 can. I only used it once. It's actually been in there for quite a while. It's just this is the first time I've got to take it out and got a chance to do that. I will leave a review of that now that I've used it. It was decent. Might not have been the best one if you're going for a high-tech setup. Of course, that is much more beneficial, although again it is a lot more work. I'm sure everyone knowing anything about high-tech setups will know that CO2 systems can be a lot of work and a little bit pricey. So that's how it's looking after the full takedown of all them plants. I've got about a bucket full of plants now. There's still a lot of algae in the middle of the aquarium. Me personally, I don't prefer this look compared to the earlier look of the bright green vibe that we had going on. Although I do like the brown tinge to the water, it just adds a little bit of colour. That's actually the tartins from the driftwood. I'll probably do a water change at some point in the future and it will brighten up the whole aquarium. But the fish seem to love it anyway, and I can see them a lot more. Before they was hiding behind a lot of the plants, which wasn't too good if you're trying to look at your fish. It's fun to try to find them and you don't see them for a while, then you come back and you think, oh yeah, that fish is still there. You know, you kind of get worried at times, but they're all in there, they're all happy. And just to remind you guys, if you do take away a lot of plants from the top floaters, or just anything that sits on the top of your aquarium, the amount of light that everything at the bottom will suddenly get, including algae, which is the main concern, can be very harmful in terms of algae. You'll get a huge algae bloom if you don't monitor the amount of light you give. So if you've got it set on a timer, say 6 hours a day, 8 hours a day, you might want to reduce that gradually to let the plants take over before the algae, because normally the algae will generally take over before the plants, and that's the problem that most hobbyists have. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like it if you have. If you haven't, please let me know in the comments below why, or if you've got any tips to post future videos, please let me know. I will be posting future videos on my channel. There are quite a few videos on there already, a few little tips.